going on, guys? It's K-Dub here with another episode of Crypto Zombie. So it's Monday, back on the grind. If we have a look at what's going on, we are seeing some green, finally. About time, right? After that bloodbath that we had. So we have Bitcoin dominance sitting around 54%. Biggest gainers of the day being Metaverse ETP, Siren Labs, which they actually had that ad at the football game or the soccer game. Factum, Ravencoin, Monacoin, Ravane, Nexo, Veritasium, Ardor, Bitcoin Cash up 10%, Polymath, and Wax as well. If we have a look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is sitting around $3,897. So we had a little bit of a spike this morning. It popped over 4,000. The market cap was around 128, and then we had a little bit of a pullback again this morning, but we're still up from yesterday. So, is this a bull run? Let's not get excited just yet, guys. But you know what today is? It is the 1-year anniversary since the BitConnect ceremony. So, there you guys go. That being said, let's talk about what's going on. Let's talk about the sentiment, see how these predictions have changed. Okay, obviously, since we've had that massive sell-off. So obviously, if we come over here, we have Mike Novogratz once again. Now, keep in mind, he pulled back his end-of-the-year Bitcoin prediction. Remember, now he's saying that he expects cryptocurrency to flip next year. So originally we were at like 10, then 9, now maybe next year, okay? So he says this year has been challenging for Galaxy Digital, a company that hopes he will become the Goldman Sachs of crypto, adding that it sucks to build a business in a bear market. Novogratz predicted that financial institutions will transition from investing in cryptocurrency funds to investing in cryptocurrencies proper in the first quarter of next year. The article that was talking about this also quoted an anonymous founder of a blockchain company saying that one of the biggest problems in crypto is the lack of credible merchant banking, and that Galaxy Digital is well placed to be the first to take advantage of new markets. Now, not everybody is very optimistic about what's going to happen. We still are seeing guys like over at Genesis saying it's going to drop to 3K potentially. We also have the chart produced by NVT Indicator showing that things could significantly improve for Bitcoin by the end of next year. So maybe in the short term, we might still be in for some sideways, kind of boring, potentially even more downward movement. So what is the NVT? Well, essentially, it's the network valuation divided by transaction value. It's a valuation indicator created by Willy Woo. Okay, and it measures Bitcoin's valuation in relation to blockchain activity. So Willy Woo, essentially, he basically has made some pretty accurate predictions in the past. So, in a nutshell, he says before Q3 of 2019, things aren't looking good. Calculations are based on a number of indicators. So they say that all our blockchain indicators remain bearish. So the NVT, NVTS, MVRV, BNM, and NVM, they are experimental, but have served to make very correct calls to date, even when traditional on-exchange indicators were reading to the contrary. So Wu goes on to say, however, charts produced by the NVT indicator show that things could significantly improve by the end of next year. Okay, so there's a lot of predictions out there right now. In fact, you have Zhao Dong, who he's a pretty established influencer in China. He's one of the most important over-the-counter traders over there. And this is what he had to say. He says, in the bull market, I don't persuade people to buy Bitcoin because it seems easy to make quick money, but in fact, it's not. Now, I start to talk people into buying Bitcoin. Those who have, made truckloads of money, they don't have that short-term speculative-driven investment mindset. He says perhaps Bitcoin will continue to drop even lower. It may fall up to 50%, but it's still worth steadily acquiring coins every time it hits a new low. You possibly see a yield of 100 to 200% in 3 years. So according to him, Bitcoin price is set to reach not less than 50,000 by the year 2021. So if that's not enough predictions for you, I think this was my favorite. So this came out from an anonymous person. Okay, and I mean, there's a lot of vulgarity in this, so we're not going to go into it. But this essentially came out way back in March, actually. This was March 19th, and they were talking about consensus. So he says we dump down to 6,000 or even 5,000 before consensus. Then when consensus comes, we have a pump, which is interesting because even though it came on the 14th, actually on the 6th, we had that pump to almost 10 grand where we had it gradually fall down directly after that. But then he goes on to say alts pump 3x, 20x, 60%, etc. Bitcoin goes down to 2,500 and stays there until 2019 or until Lightning Network release. He also says that you're going to see a bunch of coins exit scam. 95% of these coins aren't going to exist next year. And then finally, the ones that do are going to survive, and we'll be seeing 100 to 200x gains. I don't know. That's a possibility. We'll see. But the interesting thing, though, is when you look at blockchain technology, they say that blockchain already outstrips internet development. So obviously, you know, for example, they say in 1994, the opening of the world's first internet cafe in London, the Cafe Siberia near Tottenham Court Road in the heart of the city, heralded in the age of the net and mass adoption. Blockchain experts agree that this is about where the development of the technology is right now. So basically, imagine the first internet cafe ever opening in 1994. They're saying that they think that's about where we're at with crypto right now. It's quite a long time ago when you consider it. So they say a vast number of sectors across all jurisdictions are already witnessing the foundation that gave birth to these digital currencies have become more significant. So whether it be the financial sector, IT, research and development, supply chain, travel, commerce, defense, local, federal government, administrative, even space travel, there's no sector where blockchain technology is not at least being considered. So much so in fact, that universities and educational establishments around the world, along with many of the world's major banking systems, are now knocking at blockchain's door. Not to, mention, speaking of people that make outlandish predictions, we have Tim Draper declared that Bitcoin could be bigger than the internet itself. That's a pretty bold statement, but he says it's bigger than the Iron Age, the Renaissance, it's bigger than the Industrial Revolution. Wow, okay. This affects the entire world, and it's going to be affected in a faster and more prevalent way than you ever imagined. So the predictions are just that, just as the internet created email, which now has essentially become the Wells Fargo Stagecoach equivalent in terms of sending information, given that you have all these different things like messaging apps, okay? But blockchain is going to spawn a vast array of alternative uses, so far not even considered, which is something you have to think about, the fact that there's so many things that we haven't even thought about that blockchain can do yet, right? Imagine the possibilities that we've yet to even consider. So things like that definitely get me excited, guys. However, unfortunately, as you can see from this article, which conveniently has been deleted since the time I checked it out this morning, kind of strange, but anyway, it was called Bitcoin Stick a Fork in It, It's Done, by Peter Cheer, a contributor at Forbes, and basically he says that Bitcoin is too confusing. These forks and new cryptocurrencies confuse the casual investor. The spread of Bitcoin spin-offs does little to attract new investors. For a product that relies heavily on new users adopting it, the confusion and price action is slowing adoption, or in some cases causing people to reverse prior decisions to buy in. And this is the issue that we were having with the whole Bitcoin Cash debacle. I mean, we were joking about that tweet that Poloniex put out, but I mean, it looked like you had to decipher some kind of a foreign code to figure out what the hell was going on, right, guys? So that is definitely an issue moving forward. Now, guys, I have to get into this story. So this is pretty crazy. Let me know what you guys think about this. So basically, cryptocurrency mining giant BITMAIN, which I'm sure you're all familiar with, apparently are facing a class action lawsuit for over $5 million that alleges unauthorized crypto mining by the firm. Now, when I first saw this, I was like, unauthorized crypto mining. How is this possibly happening? Well, check this out. So basically, this happened on November 19th. The plaintiff in Los Angeles County, it was resident Gore Gavorkian is his name, filed the case against both BITMAIN's China and US-based entities in the federal court of the Northern District of California, alleging that the firm's devices use customers' resources to mine crypto for its own benefit prior to full setup. It's pretty maniacal. Let's dive in a little further. So until the complicated and time-consuming basically setting it up is difficult, long story short, right? So while you're setting up your ASIC miner and you have it plugged in, as soon as you connect it to basically the internet and a power source, it essentially starts mining for BITMAIN until you get it configured for you. So basically, according to this document, it indicates that there's more than 100 class members involved, and it exceeds over $5 million in fees and costs. So basically this guy says he was setting up his Antminer S9 and he faced some difficulties in configuring it, and it took him a lot longer than, had planned to install it. So during that time, the ASIC miner was pre-configured and mined and delivered cryptocurrency directly to BITMAIN. Also during this time, the device operated at full power mode, consuming a substantial amount of electricity at the plaintiff's expense. He says that this is unfair business practice, and conveniently the whole time, BITMAIN has cashed in on every second that it took to get the ASIC configured. And basically they're saying, we plug it in, we're paying the fee, we couldn't get it set up, and in the meantime you have over 100 different people mining up to $5 million worth of basically electricity costs, interest and fees, etc. So BITMAIN, they're gonna have to answer to this. Now, what do you guys think about this? I mean, it's kind of, you are mining at the expense of others, so that's kind of unfair. And it's like they weren't letting them know that this is what it does. So, I'd be pissed off if I was consuming all this electricity and somebody else was reaping the benefits. BITMAIN should, I don't know, maybe compensate these people, or just not do that to begin with. So definitely pretty crazy, guys. Things getting a little shady out here, guys. So let's talk about the good news of the day. This is the big news. A lot of people are excited about this. So the U.S. state of Ohio has officially become the first state to accept Bitcoin as tax payments, or at least they're planning to. Okay? So the move initially applies only to businesses, with plans to extend the offering to individual taxpayers in the future. So starting this week, Ohio-based businesses will be able to register to pay all of their taxes in Bitcoin. The payments are reportedly set to be processed via crypto payment service BitPay. The guys that are making the crazy predictions out there. So basically you have the state treasurer, Josh Mandel, and he says, I do see Bitcoin as a legitimate form of currency. He also told the publication that he is confident that this cryptocurrency initiative will continue after his term ends in July. Guys, this is massive news. I don't think you realize how big this is for a state to officially accept Bitcoin in order to pay taxes. Taxes have been a big issue, especially in the US. Having the ability to pay your taxes in crypto could substantially change the game and really start paving the way towards that massive adoption and just validation, from these different, local and hopefully federal governments at some point. So there you go. That is good news. And on top of that, we also have good news from the state of West Virginia, reporting that it's the first instance of blockchain voting for military personnel stationed overseas in 24 countries in the U.S. midterm elections, and it was successful. So you have Mac Warner, Secretary of State in the U.S. state of West Virginia, was quoted saying, "This is the first in the nation project that allowed uniformed service members and overseas citizens to use a mobile application to cast a ballot secured by blockchain technology." So there you go, guys. We've always talked about good use cases for blockchain technology. Bitcoin showed us store of value. We've seen things like voting, obviously, supply chain logistics, non-fungible tokens, in-game collectible items, right? So this is just more moving forward, guys. More good news as well. And I want to kind of dispel a little bit of the FUD here. So no, lowering Bitcoin price won't start a mining death spiral. Now, we've heard about this death spiral that'll basically create a endless feedback loop, right? Where Bitcoin will just go into oblivion. Well, I'm here to tell you, no, that is not the case. Essentially, according to entrepreneur Matt Odell, he openly appended the concept of low prices meaning fewer miners, and that the practice of mining was in a death spiral. He says that's the beauty of the difficulty adjustment for Bitcoin. So basically, it becomes easier under such circumstances. And as you can see right here, amidst the lower Bitcoin prices recently, the difficulty has already started to adjust downward after peaking in October. So Bitcoin adjusts. So if miners drop out and Bitcoin price drops down, then difficulty gets easier, and then you can mine again for a profit. That's the whole point of proof of work. It was down in the Bitcoin white paper. That's the whole concept behind how Bitcoin essentially self-regulates itself. But here's the good news in response to that. So you have Korean blockchain startup Commons Foundation confirmed authorities had guaranteed electricity for the Golden Goose project, which it says will be the world's largest cryptocurrency mining center and global exchange. So the Paraguay initiative, meanwhile, is looking beyond the short term. 80% of the electricity produced at this hydroelectric plant, the world's biggest in terms of output, is currently shipped abroad. They say we will build the world's largest mining center, and we're going to use low cost and abundant clean energy. So Paraguay's vice president, Hugo Velasquez Moreno, first time I ever said his name, guys, he said further, noting that the scheme would benefit from favorable tax treatment. So the government will actively support the Commons Foundation's Golden Goose project and provide tax breaks through constitutional revisions. So this is awesome, and I gotta kind of throw it in there because Arthur Hayes finally got his day. So guys, you know, way back in August, he predicted that Ethereum was basically going to become a double-digit shitcoin, in his own words, and apparently Ethereum touched $99.45 for a split second, to which he had to tweet 2 mother effing digits. Okay, and since then, it's sprung back up. Actually, according to CoinMarketCap, it actually never dipped below 100, but whatever. You know, it is what it is. Now, let's get on to some coin news of the day. I want to start off first with Circle. So they have announced that it has sought over sources of Grant Thornton LLP, which is an independent accounting company, to ascertain that there is enough fiat reserve to back USDC. This verification, the firm has said, will be done through reports that will be carried out on a monthly basis. Hey, Tether, maybe you could take some pointers from these guys. Still waiting on that audit. Anyway, we also have Switcheo listing 19 new ERC20 tokens. You can see down here, you have, look, they're all down here. There's a whole bunch. You got ELF, Kyber Network, Morpheus, Zilliqa, and a whole bunch of others. So check this out as well. OWN as well, THX, they've been doing pretty well. I think they're up like 26% today or something like that. So definitely have a look at that, guys. We also have ARK, the cross-blockchain communication ecosystem, launching Core V2. This is coming November 28th. So the code is going to feature a new dynamic structure, which lets users delegate their own fees for different types of transactions. It also gives the platform a new plugin system. The majority of the processes have been modularized, decoupled, and developed as plugins, so it's as simple as writing a few lines of code, and that's it. Basically plug and play, like WordPress, right? The new system is also going to be able to triple the transactions per second on ARK, and the block will increase from 50 to 150. So there you guys go. Now I have to also talk about this. So actually this came from Mike in the Telegram chat, which I also have to say thank you. Big inspiration for the video yesterday, man. He hit me up and was like, man, everything's just crazy today. So shout out to you, Mike. So anyway, this is a serious issue too, because you're noticing you have in the US, they're cracking down on ICOs, they're cracking down on these exchanges, both centralized and decentralized, and now you're having Taiwan officially tightening their AML policies targeted at crypto exchanges, requesting that exchanges monitor and prevent any illegal transaction process during the time of use, right? So the country's Financial Supervisory Commission, or the FSC, now has authority over crypto exchanges to ban transactions suspected of being tied to fraudulent operations. So Taiwan's Ministry of Justice released a statement following the approval of the new AML bill, emphasizing that the government is working towards meeting international AML standards by encouraging businesses to foster a compliant culture and mindset. So if you're not sure what AML is, it's anti-money laundering. Yes, so they are definitely tightening the rope, guys. But that being said, on the topic of exchanges, we are not seeing any slowdown whatsoever. For example, you actually have former Huobi and New York Stock Exchange executives starting this BHEX exchange that they're having. So they raised $15 million in their equity from top tier institutions, including Huobi and OKEX. And it's scheduled to launch at the end of the week and has attracted more than 70 token funds and 40 institutions. So basically, BHEX core founding members come from a lot of first-tier technology and financial companies, including Google, Alibaba, Tencent, Baidu, Barclays Capital, with talents in finance, blockchain, and the tech industry. So they tout itself as the next generation digital asset trading platform powered by Blue Helix's decentralized asset custody and clearing technology. The exchange will offer crypto-to-crypto trading in addition to pairs and OTC options, as well as fiat trading as well. You can actually see this is basically it over here. There's nothing really going on. They just set it up. And they also have this thing called the Super Guild, which is like something for the community, I guess, where you can get reward points and stuff. So that's pretty cool moving forward. And guys, long story short, I just want to remind you that 2018's bear market has only made us stronger, okay? Just remember that. There's always a breakdown before there's a breakout, in the words of Tony Robbins. And that being said, before you guys go, I just want to remind you, it is the last day to get your Ledger Nano S for 50% off, guys. I mean, if you're looking to get a family or, you know, member or friend a Ledger Nano S for Christmas or something like that, you know, you're literally getting 2 for 1 at this price. So just had to drop that, guys. I do have an affiliate link below. If you'd like to use it, it does help support the channel. You don't have to, but at the same time, $50 Ledger Nano really doesn't come very often, guys. That being said, I'm also going to be live tonight at, I believe, 9 p.m. Eastern time with the guys over at Crypto Somniac for Trader Talk. I believe it's episode 10, so that'll be 9 p.m. tonight. However, I'm not 100% sure, so in case you guys are curious to know, I'll be streaming on their channel, so you can follow me at the Crypto Zombie on Twitter, and I'll give you an instant update as soon as we go live, and you guys can join the conversation if you'd like. That being said, I want to say thank you so much to everyone that has been liking, subscribing, commenting. Also, I know yesterday's video, guys, got a lot of comments. It got more, almost triple the comments I get on most other videos. I'm trying my best to get back to every single one of them, but there are a lot, but I promise you I will do my best, guys. And, you know, I really, really do appreciate the support. Seriously, you guys are freaking awesome. It's Monday. Back on the grind, guys. That being said, my name is K-Dub. This is Crypto Zombie. Until next time, stay crypto. And peace out.